What's going on, YouTube? Just want to say I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Fixing to do a devotion right now. It's called Choices and Consequences. It says, from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. That's out of Luke 12:48. The more of God you experience, the more He expects of you. One of the barriers to great spiritual life is failing to realize that God's call accompanies His joy. But why? Why aren't you free to just enjoy knowing God without the burden of service? First, growing in God isn't only about you. It's also about God's glory in the world. Second, growing in God prepares you to participate in His great work in the world. Your relationship with Him is precious, but God wants everyone to know that joy and has chosen you as His emissary. Third, growing in God strengthens you for the inevitable challenge you will face. You know Him, and you know He will strengthen, sustain, and stay with you. Finally, it's good for you. You were created to live on purpose for a great cause. You can't fulfill that destiny or know that satisfaction without a great mission. What is God calling you to do? The prayer is, Lord, I thank you for how you have blessed me, taught me, and prepared me for the work you have for me. Help me to rise up quickly and obey when you call. Man, I can tell y'all right now, it's not easy staying on track. It's not easy staying on track. It's different people tell you different things. As far as me personally, it is it's harder to stay on track if it's harder to stay on track if you are not used to doing what it's asked you to do, especially hearing God's voice and putting in, working for God and all that stuff. It's, if you were born into it, it's probably easier. But I've always believed in God. I've always, just about my whole life, went to church. But till recently, last, I don't know, 8 years or 10 or so, I've only realized that it takes more than just going to church on Sunday and Wednesday, and it takes more than just praying at nighttime or in the morning when you wake up. It's, to me, following God, doing His will is almost as difficult as going to the gym every day or eating healthy or whatever. The people that's done it for most of their life, it comes naturally, it comes easier to them. But for people like me, who's bigger and stuff like that, who's used to eating what they want to, it's not as easy. I believe that's the same way with doing God's will. Doing God's will, to people who's raised up to do it, to know it, to be that kind of person, I believe it comes more natural and easier for them. They may slip and fall like everybody else does, but they know the steps to take and are more apt to do it, to take them steps. As for people like me who's just now learning, who's trying to get back into the word, it don't come as natural. So don't feel bad if you slip or fall. Don't feel bad if because you do God's work. But if you've never accepted Jesus, no matter how much work that you do for God, in my opinion, this is just me, everybody don't see it this way, so I'm just telling you my opinion. But in my opinion, if you don't accept Christ, you're not going to make it to heaven anyway. But faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't put in the work to help people or to, stuff like that, you got dead faith. It's just, I don't know. But that's my opinion, man. It's not going to be an easy road. Like I said, for people who hadn't trained for it their whole life, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get into it. But I will say this. It is still, regardless of what stage you're at, you will be blessed in that stage. I don't believe God will let you go through anything without some sort of blessing. Like I said, it's not always financial. He can start knocking away, chipping away. If you got a cold heart, he'll knock away at that. Sorry, I'm yawning so much, man. It's just early in the morning out here. I believe in order to be, you don't have to do a whole lot of stuff, man. Just the little stuff you can do to help the next person or whatever. Sometimes now money's good. I ain't saying, blessings don't come in the form of money. They do. They might come in the form of somebody paying for your meal or somebody helping you out on a bill, whatever the case is. So never take that stuff for granted, man, because if somebody paid for your meal or helped you on your bill or whatever the case is, don't take that for granted, because that's a form of a blessing from, even though a person didn't, even if they don't know God and they're helping you out, they don't know it's from God. They just felt led to do it. But see, God's blessing you through them regardless. So God will send you blessings through sometimes the most unexpected person. And they may not know it's from God, but it's from God that He's blessing you. So, man, just continue to do His work. Continue to be the person you need to be in Him. One of the biggest things that I learned, and I've been a couple years without doing it, using bad words, man. You don't need to use bad words to get your point across. You don't gotta be a jerk. You don't gotta be arrogant. You don't gotta be forceful with your words. You can just be a normal person. I ain't saying you won't have to raise your voice, but raising your voice don't mean you're gonna have to be arrogant or a jerk or whatever. You can kind of raise your voice and talk a little bit louder in certain situations, not all situations, in certain situations, to bring your point across. Not all situations you need to raise your voice at. I'm just letting you know, not all situations. I very rarely raise my voice, but I feel I am being heard, because I do have people that listen to what I say. So you don't have to curse. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to, in all situations, you don't never have to curse. You don't have to say a bad word at all to get your point across. You can, supplement your bad words for something else, because in most cases, I ain't saying all cases, but in most cases, some people fill in with a bad word or use bad words a lot because the vocabulary is not there. So if you want to really surprise people, hey man, step up the vocabulary a little bit and cut back on the bad words. Because you don't have to use bad words, man. You don't. It's really not necessary. Like I said, I can't judge because I used to do it. But through obeying the Lord, I stopped, I still have my struggles. Don't get me wrong. I still have my everyday struggles, my, week, monthly struggles or whatever. But using foul language, man, you don't need to, really. It's not necessary. So with that said, man, y'all be blessed. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I can't judge nobody, and y'all can't judge nobody either. The only one that can judge is the Lord above. And so I love y'all, man. Take care and be safe.